type of area and temperatures, which is less than Houston. So I started to back off some of my air conditioning. I also modified my diet to decrease fat, and that was tough coming from Texas. I do miss my barbecue. Texas barbecue, that is. They have barbecue here, it just ain't the same as Texas barbecue. But I started to acclimate myself so that I could, get my blood to thin out and deal with the heat, not have to have air conditioning here because electric is kind of pricey here. And if the locals can do it, I can do it. And for the last 4 or 5, I guess 6 months now, as you can hear, that we do have dogs. That's another thing. People in third world countries, they typically have dogs for a couple of reasons, but main reason is security. It's low form of security. You got a dog, you know when someone's around that shouldn't be, if that's the case. I haven't found that the case here. Mostly they just bark at people walking by. But as I said, back to the diet thing, I kind of decreased everything to get into a low fat, more vegetarian type, not vegetarian, but more vegetable, less meat type diet, so that it would help my body to acclimate to this region. And the people here, I can tell you, the people are incredible, friendly. They're not I found in Mexico so much as there's a lot of a resentment for Americans there. And here you don't have that. And you don't have the drugs here that you'll have in other countries, Latin America and the US, Canada. It's not here. People are afraid of getting caught with drugs, right? Thank God. Like I say, I go to the park, I go to the beach day or night, and it's always families and children playing, and you can't find that anymore in North America. Here, they don't have the drugs. If you have drugs, you're going to get caught by the law and you're going to have issues. Okay, so I mean, it's a different world, but it's a nice world. Like I said earlier, it's kind of like it was in the US, 50, 70, 80 years ago. People don't have the stressors of worrying about drug addicts robbing them or murdering them or anything like that. It doesn't happen here, at least where I'm at. Now, Managua may be a different case on occasion, but nowhere near what you're dealing in most American cities, or probably Canadian cities as well. I can tell you that I had left the ATM one day and left my card in there, and got half a block away, and a guy chased me down and said, "Hey, is this your card?" He gave it back to me. That wouldn't have happened in Houston. Also, I was walking along the shoreline, and I had pulled something out of my pocket, but another piece of paper had fallen out and fell to the ground. And again, a guy chased me down and gave it to me. And then the third time, I was walking through the city, pulled something out of my pocket, and one of my business cards fell onto the ground. And again, somebody picked it up and ran and gave it to me. Where does that happen in the States? People are going to look at it and just say, the heck with it. Here, if people here will go the extra yard for you. You can get your groceries, and I know they do it at Walmart and stuff in the States now, but here you don't have to lug stuff around. You can just go buy your stuff, tell them where you live, and they'll go ahead and bring it to you. No big deal. They're hungry for work. They're hungry to serve and help out as much as they can. Obviously, they need work and money as well, so it never hurts to tip them. And I always tell people, don't be afraid to tip folks. And even if you see somebody in need, you don't always have to get something in return for giving them $1 or so. Just give them $1. Buy them a few tacos, especially if it's an elderly person on the street. I saw there's one guy that I know, I've seen him walking several times. He's got to be 85 years old. And every time I see him, I'll buy him 3 tacos and give them to him. Why not? These people are hungry. We come down with so much and we're so tight, and we look down upon people sometimes that I think there's a place in hell for people like that. I think you have to share. Don't be afraid to give. food here is good. A couple things. Now I'm in San Juan del Sur. A lot of tourist stuff. I can tell you, I'm not a French fry guy, but I think every restaurant here serves French fries. Can't get away from them. But if you try to get Nicaraguan food, that's where you want to kind of center yourself. Nicaraguan food, typical beans and rice, red beans. I bought some lima beans and navy beans the other day, and I've had 3 people ask me what they were, because everyone here only knows red beans. Maybe garbanzos as well. But when you're here, you're not going to be able to get all the things. You're not going to be able to go to Walmart and get the things that you wanted to get. If you're going to go shopping, you're probably, instead of one store, you're probably going to go to 3 to 5 stores to get the items you got, if you can get them at all. I'm still trying to get some cilantro seed or plants, Mexican cilantro. Here they use a different thing that they call culantro, I think. Got a similar flavor, but just don't get it there. So you still have to hunt for things, and that's kind of the fun part of being here. Not everything is right there for you. So if you're used to just going to Walmart and picking your stuff up, you might want to stay home. As far as the food, again, I mean, there are street vendors, there are restaurants, and the beauty of it here, like I said earlier, you can, live in the American dream here. You can start a business here, whether it's a street cart, small, restaurant shop, or whatever it may be. Or a lot of folks here cook food right out of the home and sell it. Try doing that in the United States. I know in Dallas they had one lady selling tamales and they arrested her. Really? I got one of the neighbors firing up his car. By the way, a lot of the vehicles here are diesel, which is a little bit louder, a little bit noisier. But so that, here in the States, if you try to operate a business out of your home, you're probably going to end up in jail. It seems in the States, everything they do there is geared towards stifling you, and definitely not towards, promoting entrepreneurship. Here, you do it to live. Another thing here is showers. Most places, they don't have hot water heaters like they do in the States. Now, I'm sure in some places they do. In my facility, they don't. But I studied a lot on cold water therapies and cold showers, jumping into cold pools, or doing a shower, or a plunging into ice water is actually good for the immune system. So when we're doing our hot water showers in the States or Canada, we're actually working against ourselves. Here, we take a cold shower, which really isn't that cold, but it is a little bit of a jolt for your system that helps your system with immunity. Do the research, check it out. It's a good thing. A lot of people think of it as a bad thing. I do know, I want to talk about one thing. There's some people here that try to compare this place with the Philippines. 2 different worlds, 2 different people, 2 different histories. Slightly. Sure, the conquistadors were here 500 some years ago, and they were also in the Philippines, which gave the Philippines half Asian, half Spanish culture, history, lineage. And here, I think it's more of a Spanish, probably native type mixture. And so it's different. The people are different, the women are different, it's different. Don't be fooled to think that, it's better or it's the same. It's not, it's different. If you're coming here, I would definitely, spend some time, try to exercise your brain a little bit and learn a little Spanish. I speak some Spanish, get by fine, but I was married to a Mexican. I lived in Texas where a lot of Hispanics are, so probably a little bit easier for me. But don't get fooled by a couple folks here that promote this as being as good as, or the same as the Philippines, because it isn't. It's different in its own right. Just like people are different, countries are different. The one thing a lot of older guys or single guys want to come here and enjoy it like it is the Philippines. I think in the Philippines there's a lot more women that are chasing guys versus here they're a bit more reserved. Don't get me wrong, they are here. And I will be covering that a little bit more in a video later. Um, but I mean, if I'm 64, my partner is 31 years old, beautiful lady, very nice, college educated. Um, Actually travels 6 hours to come see me each week, stays the whole week, and 6 hours home. Who the heck is going to do that in the States? And she's great. She does everything. She takes care of the house, the groceries, saves me a lot of money everywhere, helps me to translate. Very loving. I mean, she's incredible. And in the States, unless you're living in a $250,000 home and driving a $30,000 car, they don't even want to look at you. Okay, and don't get me wrong, you can get somebody 64 can get a 22-year-old or 20-year-old girl here, usually for a night or two. Not going to last. Be realistic. I like the 30-year-old women. They got their head together. They're not looking so much. Well, in most cases they are going to have a children or two or three, but they're able to separate those two worlds and make sure that you're still covered and you're not impacted by that. But like I said, I will be covering a dating video later and cover all these in more detail because I think it does deserve some time, especially for folks that are considering coming down and visiting or living here or retiring here. It's great. Either one of those is great to do. If you don't come here, you really are missing out. And I would consider San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua, the place to be if you're coming. It's a good central location to start out and explore other areas, but primarily the beach areas. And it gives you a really good nightlife as well. So I'm going to end this video now. It's been kind of long, but there will be some other videos, and you know the game. Like, share, and subscribe if you would. I would greatly appreciate it, and hope you'll look at some of the other videos I got coming up very soon. I got some good ones coming up, but I also have another channel. It's called Nika Dreaming, and that's kind of where I do a lot of the get out and about and do a lot of the dating stuff about dating and women and things like that. So you might want to check out Nika Dreaming as well. But in the meantime, you have a great day. Enjoy your life as I will enjoy mine. And of course, the cat's always. And by the way, the cat's name is Gata, female. Gato is cat in Spanish, and Gata is female cat. And she's having a great time napping. Take care.